For 26-year-old Summer Tatum, October 2021 should have been filled with joy and anticipation. The registered radiologic technologist from Prattville, Alabama, was 5 months pregnant with her first child, a little boy she and her husband Hunter had already decided to name Everett, due to arrive in February 2022. Summer had cerebral palsy, but it had never dimmed her infectious smile or her zest for life. She worked in healthcare, spending her days helping others as a radiologic technologist, using medical imaging to assist doctors with diagnoses and treatments. Just weeks before her death, Summer had shared her excitement about her pregnancy on social media. "We are on to our next adventure, and we're more than halfway there," she posted in early October. "We had our anatomy scan last week and everything looks perfect so far. There were just a few things not visualized, so we get to have another look in a couple of weeks." She continued, "I am so blessed by this pregnancy, but it has been hard, and at this point I can only assume it'll be that way to the end. We are so excited to meet our baby boy." Hunter James Tatum, 25, had been with Summer for 4 years before they married in May 2019. He was gainfully employed, and both prosecution and defense would later acknowledge that they had appeared to be a loving couple, with extensive photographic documentation of what seemed like a happy marriage. From the outside, their life looked perfect. Summer was excited about becoming a mother, posting regularly about her pregnancy journey. She documented both the excitement and challenges, acknowledging that whilst the pregnancy had been hard, she was looking forward to meeting their son Everett. The couple lived in a home on Sunset Court in Prattville, Alabama, equipped with a Vivint security system. They appeared to be settling into married life and preparing for parenthood. But this picture-perfect life was hiding a devastating betrayal that would lead to unthinkable tragedy. Sometime in 2021, Hunter had begun an online affair that would prove to be the catalyst for murder. He had met a woman named Shannon, who lived in England whilst playing video games online. They had connected through Discord, a gaming chat platform popular with online gamers. What had started as gaming interactions had developed into what prosecutors described as sexting and an inappropriate relationship. Hunter would communicate with Shannon through his gaming console, conducting the affair right under Summer's nose in their own home whilst she was pregnant and dealing with the physical challenges of cerebral palsy. The relationship with Shannon represented a profound betrayal. Here was Hunter, with his pregnant wife who had cerebral palsy, excited about their upcoming son, secretly engaging in an intimate relationship with another woman thousands of miles away. The deception was carried out through the very gaming system that would soon become the focal point of their final fatal argument. In the days before the 18th of October 2021, Summer made a devastating discovery. She found messages on Hunter's computer revealing his online affair with Shannon. Summer's response to discovering the affair was swift and symbolic. She took Hunter's gaming console, the very device he had used to betray her, and placed it in the kitchen sink before running water over it, destroying it completely. It was an act of justified anger from a woman who had been deeply betrayed by the man she had trusted with her life and future. Multiple arguments followed in the days after Summer's discovery. The gaming console was ruined, the affair was exposed, and their marriage was in crisis. For Hunter, the loss of his gaming system and his secret relationship represented a threat to the double life he had been living. For Summer, pregnant and dealing with the emotional trauma of betrayal, the situation had become untenable. She made a difficult but necessary decision. She would leave Hunter. In the days before her murder, she'd begun packing her belongings, preparing to end their marriage and start a new life as a single mother. But for Hunter, Summer's decision to leave represented an unacceptable loss of control. Rather than accept responsibility for his actions and the consequences of his affair, he would choose a path of violence that would destroy not just his own life, but the lives of his innocent wife and unborn son. Around midnight on the 18th of October, 2021, a physical altercation began between Hunter and Summer in their home on Sunset Court. But this was no ordinary domestic argument that spiraled out of control. What happened next was, in the words of prosecutor C.J. Robinson, an execution. The events that unfolded would be captured in horrifying detail by the couple's own security system. The house was equipped with a Vivanti security system that included 3 cameras pointed at the back door and recorded audio 24 hours a day, storing it for 30 days. Additionally, a neighbor's security camera would capture exceptionally clear audio of the entire incident. The audio captured by these systems tells a story so horrific that it left investigators emotionally traumatized. Summer can be heard screaming and pleading desperately for her life and the life of her unborn child. She begged Hunter, "I'll stay. I'll do anything you want. Don't hurt me, please. Don't hurt our baby." She pleaded, "Please don't kill me." Hunter's responses, also captured on audio, were cold and unmerciful. "No. Get away from me," he replied to her pleas. Then, chillingly, "Nope." The physical evidence would later reveal that Summer was on her knees when Hunter positioned himself behind her. Approximately 3 seconds after Hunter's final "Nope," 2 gunshots rang out in quick succession. Both bullets struck Summer in the back of her head, one near her neck, one near the top. The gun used was Summer's own .38 caliber revolver. The audio then captures silence, followed by the sound of Hunter calling 911 to report what he had done. But perhaps most damning of all was what Hunter did not do after the shooting. Security footage captured him dragging Summer across the floor after the shots were fired. There was no attempt to help her, no immediate effort to save her life or that of their unborn child. When officers arrived at the home on Sunset Court, they found a scene of unthinkable horror. Summer was lying unresponsive on the floor of the back bedroom. The amount of blood was staggering. Hunter was at the scene when police arrived. His first words to the responding officers were, "It's all my fault," before being handcuffed and taken into custody immediately. Summer was still alive but in critical condition. Her breathing was labored and she was moaning, but she was unconscious and unresponsive. Paramedics rushed her to Baptist South Hospital in Montgomery, where medical professionals immediately performed an emergency cesarean section in a desperate attempt to save baby Everett. The little boy they had been so excited to meet was born alive and placed in the neonatal intensive care unit. Medical staff did everything they could to save his life, but the trauma of his premature birth proved too much for his tiny body. Both Summer and baby Everett died around 7:45 a.m. that same morning. Everett had survived for only about 1 hour after his emergency delivery, fighting for life before succumbing. Summer never got to hold the son she had been so excited to meet. The crime scene investigation quickly revealed crucial evidence. Police found Summer's partially packed suitcase in the bedroom, confirmation that she had been preparing to leave Hunter. They discovered the destroyed gaming console in the kitchen sink, evidence of Summer's discovery of the affair and her justified anger. Most critically, they found no evidence that Hunter had attempted to render medical assistance to his wife or unborn child before calling 911. Police Chief Mark Thompson confirmed that Prattville Police had no documented calls to the residents regarding any type of domestic violence or disputes in the past. This made the brutal nature of the crime particularly shocking. There had been no warning signs, no escalating pattern of violence. The technological evidence would prove crucial to the case. The couple's security system, the neighbor's security camera, captured the entire incident with exceptional clarity. Between the two systems, investigators had unprecedented documentation of a murder as it occurred. Police also recovered body camera footage from the responding officers, which documented the horrific scene they encountered. The footage included the heartbreaking sounds of Summer moaning in the pool of blood. Perhaps most revealing was footage from the patrol car camera, which captured Hunter alone after his arrest. Thinking he was unobserved, Hunter was recorded saying to himself, "Why did you do this?" "You should have shot me." Hunter was initially charged with domestic violence and first-degree assault, with bond set at $150,000. But after Summer and Everett died, the charges were upgraded to 2 counts of murder, with bond increased to $400,000 total. The deaths sent shockwaves through Prattville, a community that prides itself on safety. A GoFundMe campaign raised over $10,800 for funeral expenses. Summer's funeral was held on the 23rd of October, 2021, with baby Everett buried alongside his mother. At bond hearings, prosecutors argued Hunter was a flight risk due to his affair with a woman in England. On the 4th of March 2022, a grand jury returned a capital murder indictment. 3 days later, District Attorney C.J. Robinson announced his office would seek the death penalty, stating, "If we are going to have the death penalty exist, it has to be for cases like this." The trial began on 12 June 2023. The defense claimed self-defense, arguing Summer had threatened Hunter with her own gun, but the audio evidence directly contradicted this claim. On 21 June 2023, just before closing arguments were to begin, Hunter entered a guilty plea to 2 counts of murder. He was sentenced to 2 consecutive 99-year terms, totaling 198 years in prison, with no possibility of appeal. District Attorney Robinson promised to oppose any future parole attempts.